Hey, Dave. Hey, Dave. Good to see you.
Good morning. I'm Gilbert Campbell, co-founder of Volt Energy. We're a solar energy development firm based here in Washington, D.C., but we do projects nationwide with large companies like the Cheesecake Factory. We did solar at City Hall here in D.C., and we're doing a project at Howard University now. But it's my pleasure to sit with you today and participate in this event with great minds from cities all over this country who are all focused on the same goal, making our cities cleaner and more vital. It is my honor to talk with my friend today, Dave Velazquez, President and CEO of Pepco Holdings, an Exelon company. In addition to local energy companies, Atlantic City Electric in New Jersey and Delmarva Power in Delaware and Northern Maryland, Pepco Holdings delivers electricity right here in our nation's capital. In fact, Dave is keeping the lights on in this very room. Minus a little bit of gray, it's a beautiful day today, but Dave certainly has a perspective on what it takes to keep the lights on when we're experiencing severe weather. We'll talk a little bit about that today. Thank you and welcome, Dave.
Thank you.
So Dave, my first question, I need you to think this through. It's a very difficult question. So we both hail from the city of Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. So in a few weeks, the Philadelphia Eagles play the Washington Redskins. How bad are we going to beat them?
Oh boy, that's a loaded question. It is a city of brotherly love, though. So actually, as an Eagles fan, if you follow football, I'm much more worried about the Bears next week, the way we've been playing, than looking forward to December as well. But again, Gilbert, it's great to be sitting here with you and to enjoy a partnership with you as well, and a number of things that we've been able to do together. And as you've said, it's great to be with this group. When I think about the variety, the diversity of experiences that are represented in this audience, what a great way for us to be able to learn about what we need to do. Because just like I think cities across the country, we've been in business here at Pepco for probably 125 years. I've been in this business for almost 40 years. And I think just like the cities across the country, we're undergoing fundamental transformative change. And we need to be stepping forward and seeing what we can do as a local utility company, an important part of the community, to be able to help drive forward what we can to help combat climate change as well.
Mm-hmm. That's certainly a huge undertaking. Can you elaborate a little bit more on the ways that Pepco and Exelon is working to combat climate change?
Sure. So first, let me say climate change is real. We're already seeing the effects of it, both, I'll say, in storms that we see, the intensity of those storms, the frequency of those storms. Just as much impact on us, though, is the extremes of weather. So our sister utility in Chicago this winter, if you are following the news, negative 20, negative 30 degree temperatures. That's not normal. Here in the district this summer, in the month of July, and I think I'll get it right, there were 27 days in the month of July when it was over 90 degrees here. That is not normal either. All that has real impacts on our system. So when you think about what we're doing, we're investing in new technology, both to help make the system more resilient. So when storms come, we're creating with information and automated switches, kind of a self-healing network. In addition to that, we're using technology, whether it's battery storage or other means, to allow more and more renewable energy resources, solar, to be hooked up to folks' homes. We have between our utility here and in Delaware, Maryland, and New Jersey, we have over 70,000 customers today that are generating electricity from solar generation. We're also doing our bit to support, I'll say, decarbonization policies. Here in the district, they passed, I'll say, rather groundbreaking legislation at the end of 2018, beginning of this year, to drive towards 100% renewable energy by 2032. All the I'll say rideshare buses, major employers' vehicle fleets by 2045 have to be zero emission. So very supportive of driving ourselves there. In New Jersey, there was the Clean Energy Act that we supported that also is driving that. And I'll just make two comments on that. One is that's not something that we can do alone. I don't think it's something that any of us can do alone. I think the partnerships that we have collectively to help drive that forward are so important. It's something collectively, it's an issue we face collectively, it's an issue we need to address collectively. It's also an issue that I think we need to be very conscious of making sure that we do it in an equitable fashion. Mm-hmm. So there's many, as we think about deploying new technology. All this requires investment. As we think about, additional solar, additional renewable energy on the grid, all this requires an investment. And we need to make sure we do it in a way that is affordable for all our customers. We also need to make sure we do it in a way to make sure that it is available to all our customers. For instance, here in the district, we're beginning to roll out, as a utility, the infrastructure to support electric vehicle charging. That's not something we're just doing downtown DC, but it's something we want to make sure is spread across all wards of the city, across all parts of the city, that everyone can take advantage of that. So that equity issue, I think, is one that's going to continue to be in the forefront.
Absolutely. Well, you've shared some. I know you're working on multiple projects right here in the district that are changing the way residents think about energy consumption and go about their daily activities. Can you just elaborate on a few more projects?
Sure. So in DC, I mentioned electrification of the transportation system. About 25% of the greenhouse gas emissions in the district come from vehicles. Again, the energy that buildings, homeowners, businesses consume, whether it's electricity or natural gas, also contribute a large portion of that. So what we're doing, and what the district has been doing to push for 100% renewable energy, is going to help drive that. What we're doing to help support an electric vehicle charging infrastructure is going to help the city achieve those goals as well. I'd mentioned we continue to put in new processes, better processes to allow customers to more quickly install renewable energy or solar, for instance, which is the primary renewable energy here in the district. But I also talked a little bit about resiliency, which is also important. We have a program in a private-public partnership with the city that was announced a couple years ago, and it's now underway, called DC Plug Power Line Undergrounding, to take the most vulnerable lines we have, and again, with a co-investment with the city, public-private partnership, to put a lot of those most vulnerable lines underground. We've also thought about our vulnerable population, and we made a grant last year to Jubilee Housing, which invests in the city in affordable housing. They have a new affordable apartment complex they're building called Maycroft, and they were going to put solar, which they did, put solar panels on the roof, and we gave them a grant in addition to that to install batteries in the facility as well. The thought being, these are some of our more vulnerable residents, and this power, the batteries will help provide power for 3 days in the event that there's an outage. So when you think about, needing to be able to have communications, be able to charge your cell phone, be able to watch TV, but also to have refrigeration for medicines and things like that, all those essential things. Again, an investment, we're trying to find innovative ways to kind of help provide our customers with a way of being able to withstand the impacts that climate change is bringing.
Mm-hmm. So as a residential customer living here in the district, and also as a business owner, I'm encouraged to hear and proud to be a Pepco subscriber and all the work that you're doing behind the scenes to make the city cleaner. And I just want to share a quick personal story that speaks to Dave's leadership. You may not even remember, but it's about 6 years ago when about 3 years into the company, Dave reached out to me and said, I'd like to have breakfast with you and just learn a little bit more about your company, how I can be supportive. And as a young CEO, to have the CEO of our local utility company do that meant the world. So Dave, I really appreciate that. And that speaks volumes to Dave's character, but also to Pepco Holdings and Exelon's commitment to both not only supply diversity and growing small business, but just growing future leaders. So Dave, I want to thank you, Pepco Holdings and Exelon, for your continued commitment to creating a clean energy future in the district and beyond. It was my pleasure to talk with you today.
So if I could just make a comment before about that. We have defined our purpose as powering a cleaner and brighter future for our customers and communities, and that was a very deliberate choice of words around cleaner and brighter. And Gilbert hit on a point that we haven't touched on yet. We've been here for 125 years. I remind people of that occasionally. With that comes a very, very deep roots that we have in the community. And when we think about what impact we can have on the community, we take very seriously the fact that it goes beyond just what we can do, if you will, to keep the lights on. But it's what are we doing to invest in local businesses. Given a choice, 100% of the time, I would rather buy local than from some place that's not local. We need to invest in our communities. I talked about our partnership with the mayor and the city. We also opened this year, along in partnership with the mayor, DC Infrastructure Academy, where we're training local residents to be able to get good jobs with us and our contractors as well. And the last thing I wanted to say was our parent company, Exelon, probably about a month ago, announced a climate change investment initiative. It's a $20 million investment that the corporation is making in all the major cities we serve: Washington, Baltimore, Philadelphia, Atlantic City, Wilmington, Chicago, for local startups that have innovative ideas to help combat climate change. So it's a local investment, local companies that are driving climate change initiatives in innovative ways. And the thought here is, again, to help spur that movement forward, but then also to make sure the investment stays local. So again, thank you for your time. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to talk and also to listen as the day goes on. Thank you.
Thank you.